Hello students, in this video I will explain to you how easy it is to clear the board examinations. I'll also give you tips and tricks, and I'll also explain to you the board paper pattern. I have taken a sample of a board paper of November 2019. The subject code is GN103. This is not the same as your code. Your code is a bit different. This is GC103. If you look at the first question number 1 is answer the following question. Total marks is 10 into 1.5 is 15 marks. Question number 2, answer any 4 of the following questions. Each question is 4 into 3 is equal to 12. Question number 3, answer any 4 into 3 is equal to 12. Question number 4, same 4 into 3 12. Question number 5 is 4 into 3 is 12. Question number 6 and question number 6, question number 6 for mechanical and allied branches, and question number 6, second one for electronics engineering and allied branches. Here also 4 into 3 is equal to 12. So now the question paper pattern was here that you have to answer this question 1. None of these questions have been titled as compulsory questions. None of them are compulsory. You can answer whatever you know, the rest you don't know, don't answer. Whatever you know, you answer, you get marks. Whatever you don't know, don't answer, you don't get marks. So the marks distribution will be 15 marks for one question, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth A question, right? So 5 into 12 is 60 plus the first question is of 15 marks. So that makes it 75. So now you see again, there are no questions which are marked as compulsory, but question number 1, there is no choice. Question number 2 onwards, there is a choice. Out of the 6 given questions, you have to answer any 4 of them. So 3 into 4 is 12. So each question carries 3 marks. So 3 into 4 will be 12, and here each question is a 1.5 mark. Fine. So you answer 4 questions here, you get 12 marks. So there are 5 questions. 12 into 5 will be 60. 60 plus 15 is 75. The total marks will be 75 marks. But this year onwards, the question paper pattern has changed. Here you see instructions. Question number 1 is compulsory. Answer any 4 from the remaining questions is the instruction given to you. That means this question number 1 you have to answer. Whether you like it or no, you have to answer this question number 1. Okay. So this question number 1 is of 10 into 1.5 is 15 marks. Now you see here question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, question 5 and question 6. Here again mechanical and engineering, whatever these bifurcations are there, but you see the question paper pattern here. In question number 2, sub question A is compulsory. That means this question, name any 3 types of forces with examples. So this question is question number 2A, which is compulsory. Question number 3A is compulsory. Question number 4A is compulsory. That means you have to answer that question. Question number 5A is compulsory, and question number 6A is also compulsory. Let's look at the marks distribution. Question number 1, 15 marks, perfectly fine. Question number 2, in which question number A is compulsory, carries only 3 marks. Be very careful here. Question number A of question number 2 is carrying 3 marks, and you have to answer any 3 from B, C, D. That means there are how many questions here? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 questions. Out of these 5 questions, question number A is compulsory. Okay. Question A is compulsory, which carries 3 marks. Out of the other 4, you answer any 3. You can answer either B, C, D or C, D, E or D, E, B, whatever choices you want. Fine. So question number A carries 3 marks, and question number one of these questions will carry 4 marks each. So 4 into 3, 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So this is the total marks will be equal to 15 marks. What is the instruction given here? Question number 1 is compulsory. Answer any 4 from the remaining questions. That means you answer these questions perfectly fine. Out of question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, question number 5 and question number 6, you have to answer any 4. Keep in your mind, you should not be answering all these questions. You answer any 4 of them. Should be perfectly fine. So 15 into 4 question will make it 60 marks, plus 1 which is compulsory will make it 75 marks. Now, you might be asking me a question as to what if you know the answer to all the questions? Doesn't matter at all. You can, if you have time, you can answer all these questions. What it may help you is, for example, if you have answered question number 6 as well, and you have got say 14 marks in this question, but in question number 5 you had got only 12 marks, then we will have the choice to take question number 6, which is the highest of the existing questions. So you have the chance to answer all the 6, but you have to answer any 4 of the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So out of the 5 questions you have to answer any 4. So 4 into 15 is 60 marks, plus question number 1 is 15. So that makes it 75. But keep in your mind, sub question A is compulsory for all the questions, and question number 1 is completely compulsory. Please keep this in your mind. So that will help you to answer this question paper pattern very well. Then there is a hint for this. Now, how do you clear this paper? See, now if you look at question number 1, these are all short answer type carrying 1.5 marks each. So what you should be doing first is that you should prepare these short answer type questions from all the 5 topics that you have studied. So that will ensure like definitions, some units, some principle statement of it. So those kind of questions will be of 1.5 mark type. So that you do from all the 5 topics. So that will ensure that the 15 marks which is kept for the first question is there in your pocket completely well. So what should you be doing first? Get the short answer type questions from all the 5 topics clearly. Definitions, unit of quantities, very small problems, small statements. So those things will be given only in question number 1. So that 15 marks if you have in your pocket, then you have to score another 25 marks to clear the paper. So then I'll tell you what to do next. Once you have done the question number 1 well, you have done those definitions, you have done those principles, you have done those small type problems, you have done those units, definition of units. You take 2 or 3 topics which are extremely simple, which you think are very interesting for you. See, these interesting topics may be different topics for different people. So you select those 3 or 4 topics which you feel are very simple and you will be able to handle, and do that really well without leaving any topic from it. See, there is choice, but you don't keep choice in your choices. So you do those 3 topics extremely well. That will help you to get 3 questions over. That means 15 into 3 is 45 plus 15, 60 marks you have straight away scored. And then you take up the remaining 2. So that will ensure that you get a minimum of 70 marks upon 75. That's a minimum that you will surely get. See, there is no hard and fast rule which makes it compulsory for you to start answering from question number 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be. So now you pick up that question which you feel you can easily answer. So that topic which you have previously selected, those 3, 4, 5, whatever was very easy you thought. So you pick up that question and you answer that question fast and finish it off. That means you have ensured that the ones which you found easy, you have already answered it well. Normally what students do is that they always try to answer the difficult questions first. So you waste time in answering those difficult questions. Later on, you will not have time to answer those questions which you know very well as well. So you answer those questions first, which you feel are very very simple and which will give you good marks. Once you have done that, let's take another hint also. What is the hint? Now see, it is not even compulsory that you answer everything serial number wise. You can take question number 1 first, straight away go to question number 6. You can take question number 2, you can come back to question number 1, so on and so forth. And plus also what you can also do in questions, you suppose you don't know the answer for a particular questions now, you don't have to leave space in between, मागे करिया, we'll do it later on. That you don't have to do. So what you do is, suppose you answer question number 2A, 2B and 2C. So one question is left, you answer, you don't remember anything of it. You go to question number 5, you answer 5A, 5B, 5C. Suddenly you remember that answer to question number 2D. Then immediately what you do is, next page you write question number 2D and start answering this question. But remember to put the question numbers clearly and avoid any type of overwriting on any question number or any figures. Second tip to answer the question paper is for solving problems. Whenever you solve problems, you first start with the given quantity that I've already explained to you in the previous video. But now what is important for this particular video is, while you're solving the problem, after you've solved and you have done the calculation, don't be in a hurry to rush to the second question. Spend some couple of minutes on the problem only. Just check if you have carried forward the figures properly or no. The example would be like, for example, in one line you have written 25.67 into 65. Suppose 25.67 into 65. In a hurry, what you have done is, you've written 25.67 into 56 and you have given the answer, you have totaled it and you have multiplied it. See, it was 65 there in that line, you have taken 56. That's out of sheer oversight. So that you avoid. So when you are not in a hurry, you go to every step, check whether you have written the figures properly in the next step also. This is your second tip. The third tip to solve a problem is, in the given quantities of space, you have put a question mark against the quantity which is to be determined. So now you just check your answer whether it is the same thing that you have determined or it is something else. Sometimes what happens, in some problem they have asked you to find the volume, you have found the pressure which is already given to you, and you have taken some stupid value of volume which is not there in the problem at all. You have assumed some value or you have taken it down wrongly. So that answer you compare. Fourth tip is, when you finally get the answer, check whether you have put the surnames, that means the units, properly or no, and just check once more whether you have done all the conversions properly or no. Lastly, before handing over the paper, don't be in a hurry to hand over your paper to the supervisor. You may have finished in 2 hours, 2 hours 10. Don't be in that urgency that I should be the first one to submit the papers. Don't do that. Take your time, cool down for 5 minutes. See if you have answered all the required number of questions. Question number 1, done or not done. Choices, done, not done. Sometimes what you may have done is, you have suppose there are 4 questions to be answered out of one main question. You have answered 3, but you have left 1 that I will answer it later on. So in a hurry, you may have forgotten to answer that question which you wanted to try later on. So that is what you should be careful about when you finally go to submit. So check all this. Only when you have found that it is satisfactory, that you go and hand over the paper to your supervisor.